Coming from the UCLA Palestine Solidarity Encampment, this is our statement on the attacks of last night. The life-threatening assault we faced last night is nothing less than a horrifying, despicable act of terror. For over 7 hours, Zionist aggressors hurled gas canisters, sprayed pepper spray, and threw fireworks and bricks into our encampment. They broke our barriers repeatedly, clearly in an attempt to kill our community. Campus safety left within minutes. External security the university hired for backup watched, filmed, and laughed on the side as the immediate danger inflicted upon us escalated. Law enforcement simply stood at the edge of the lawn and refused to budge as we screamed for their help. The only means of protection we had was each other. We keep each other safe. Despite the danger, we refused to engage, standing by the principles of our encampment, self-defense. For all the school's pretense of student safety, we've experienced an unprecedented amount of violence and hatred while they stood by. The university's hypocrisy is all too apparent, as signs of this escalation were reported, documented, and indicated early on. The Zionist attacks, their use of chemical weaponry, their hatred, their destruction, are but a microcosm of the genocide in Gaza. The university would rather see us dead than divest. Media portrayal of neutrality and both sides only obfuscates the truth. We have no pepper spray, no gas canisters, no fireworks, no aggression. All we had was our community to hold our wooden barriers. What more can we do? We demand that the university end this sham, the sham of pretending that the school is neutral. It has chosen genocide before, and it chooses genocide again. Call on UCLA, protect your fellow students, and call for what we need: a divestment from systems of death that profit off of indiscriminate bombing, and a call to the end of genocide in Gaza and the occupation of Palestine. In solidarity, the besieged UCLA Palestine Solidarity Encampment. We can now open it up for questions. So if any reporters have questions.
What's the state of the discussions with the university, with the administration? What can you tell us about that? Because you have a very specific set of demands, and so what's the state of the discussions on this? And are you actually talking to administrators at the university, because this seems like the only way to get out of this gridlock?
Yeah, the specifics of our negotiations right now with administration are being kept pretty internal because they're not solidified yet, but the university has been forced to meet us at the bargaining table, right? The aggression that we faced last night shows that the university has no choice to just stand by and wait for us to get killed by Zionist aggressors, right? They have to meet us at the bargaining table. They have to meet our demands. If they want our encampment to go away, that's how they're going to get it, is when they divest, disclose, boycott. So those are our demands, yes.
At this point, is the encampment now taking away at all from the ultimate message, which we've heard again and again from the leadership on this team, that's to focus on what's happening in Gaza and in Israel? Do you feel like it's taken away from that?
Yeah, I think that the response from the counter-protesters is definitely something that's I definitely think that the response from the counter-protesters is something that's unprecedented among the other encampments, and that's specific to the LA area. But I think the thing is, this doesn't take away, because it highlights the fact that the university is willing to basically sanction violence against pro-Palestinian students and people who are generally against genocide in a manner that's very similar to the way that the Ku Klux Klan operated as a quasi-state entity, where they were allowed to while they were allowed to go inside of jails and take people to lynch them while the police just stood by. So the parallels being drawn here are actually very striking, especially for me as a Black Muslim student.
You posted on your Instagram that UCLA's administration is threatening to clear the encampment today. Have you received any messages from the administration, and can you speak about that?
We can't respond to that question.
Well, what do you hope will happen here in the end? What's the end goal?
Divestment, right? Yeah, go.
I think it's more than divestment as well. I think given the fact that the University of California is founded on colonialism, it's inherently a violent institution. there needs to be an addressment of U.S. imperialism and its ties to the UC system and how it perpetuates war and violence abroad. Not only abroad, but also here, locally. We see this with the brutality, the police brutality that black and brown students face here at UCLA, Arab students, Muslim students, Palestinian students. And I myself have personally been faced those violences that the UC has perpetuated and continues to perpetuate. It's not just a means of divestment, it's a divestment from Zionism. Yeah.
Yeah, but just to be explicit, we're going to keep the encampment going until our demands are met, which is to divest from the Zionist entity.
Have you had any meetings at this point with anyone from the UC in the financial services section, meaning the people who actually control investments that the University of California makes? Because you've got chancellors, president, that's fine. Money guys are what makes happen. Have you demanded you meet with them? Is there a possibility of meeting with them?
So we met with the Chief Investment Officer on the UC Regents before. Again, this protest did not start a week ago, right? This movement didn't even start October 7th. The UCLA Divest Coalition is older than this specific siege that's been happening for the last 200 days. But we've been demanding divestment all year. And so we've met with the UC Regents. We have made these demands of them before. We have met with the Chief Investments Officer. We have presented them with our demands. They are aware of, the companies that we are demanding that they divest from. They're aware of the, the universities that we no longer want them to partner with, et cetera. They're very aware of what our demands are. Until, you'll know when our demands are met because the encampment will be gone, right?
Do you have any facts or figures on how many people were injured last night and the extent of their injuries?
At least 25.
It's in the hundreds.
It was at least more than 100 people. I was one of those people that was injured. Most of these people here, I'm pretty sure, can speak to their own stories. I was simply live streaming on the Instagram for SJP, and I was bear maced and also pepper sprayed by Zionists, all of them being really taller than me and much bigger than me, and I was met along with my peers here with violence, and all we were trying to do was defend the encampment and to defend our demands, and despite this though, we remain steadfast. All we think about is those Palestinian children that are holding up those signs with the names of universities and thanking us. That is more than enough to keep us going.
Sorry, we can. Yeah, do you want to go?
Yeah, so there were 25 people hospitalized last night, and there were numerous more who were injured, who were maybe too afraid to go to the hospital or couldn't make it to the hospital. And
hundreds of people maced and pepper sprayed.
Hundreds of people maced and pepper sprayed, and our medics were completely overrun, and we needed extra support that no one could provide us with.
Sorry, you said 25 people were taken to the hospital?
Yes.
Yes, but a good amount of our people were actually turned away from the hospital, and ambulances were not coming. And I know that the news isn't really good at, describing the timeline of events, but the police actually mobilized pretty fast as soon as they started shooting fireworks at us. Instead, though, the police came with an EMS truck, took one of the counter-protesters to the hospital, and escorted that counter-protester to the hospital.
And left the rest of us.
And left everyone there while they were still shooting fireworks at us.
Have you received any assurances about your safety moving forward from the university, and do you know if they're pursuing an investigation into the perpetrators of violence?
That's funny. No, I don't think they're planning on doing so because they witnessed everything that happened last night. They know about this. They just don't care. They literally do not care about our safety, about our lives. They would rather watch us be killed than to protect us.
Yeah, the UC system always releases a statement that's super there was violence broke out, a clash. We don't condone any violence, and it always refuses to acknowledge that pro-Palestinian supporters are the one being harassed and being put into physical danger. And so without that acknowledgement, I don't know how he could provide us with sufficient safety.
Chancellor Block released a statement just a few minutes ago that was supposedly acknowledging the events of last night. It said that violence ensued at the encampment, right, which is incredible, just like underrepresentation of what happened, and said that the university would of course be taking like strict measures to address this, including disciplinary actions such as suspension, expulsion, dismissal. But the folks who were the ones being tear gassed, being pepper sprayed, being bear maced, being thrown fireworks at, being beaten with wooden planks, having bricks thrown at them, being just physically assaulted, like hand-to-hand combat, those folks are students and professors and things like that. The folks on the other side are not, vast majority not UCLA community members. They are not faculty, they are not students. And so when the university is saying that the disciplinary action that they're taking is going to be suspensions, expulsions, dismissal, we know that that means they're going to punish us for having been brutalized last night, which we absolutely condemn.
We don't believe that the police protects us. So
I called 911 3 times last night at 11:30 p.m. because the medics told me that they needed help and they did not come or help until 4 or 5 a.m.
Right, like
that doesn't address the question. You've got video, everyone.
yes, we have videos. We are sending reports to the necessary channels, but we also do not trust that the necessary action would be taken. Right, the chancellor just sent us an email that said he will punish us, the ones who were brutalized, for what happened last night. Right, and the police again were called many times, not only by the people in the encampment, but by people outside who were seeing this happen on social media. They were calling UCPD, they were calling LAPD, they were calling medics, they were calling the hospitals, and all of those sources were turned away. They said the police would hang up on the people who were calling the police. Right, and when the police came, there's video evidence, there's live streams everywhere. They stood in a line and they watched. And then they stood in a line and they moved forward a little bit more to kind of start dispersing whatever. And they pushed us closer to the Zionists. They moved in and they didn't do anything. They didn't come in between us. And I will be clear that when I'm saying this, we don't want police on our campus. We don't want police to be the ones defending us. We assert that our people are the ones keeping us safe. The only reason that our people were able to survive last night was because we have street medics there, we have legal observers there, we had folks coming in from all parts of Los Angeles, bringing in donations of water, saline solution, gauze, all these things, right? We keep us safe, right? We say that over and over and over again. We keep us safe. The police did not keep us safe, and they will not keep us safe any longer.
Identifying people through social media, and I've already seen people's like license plates going out. I'm just curious if you can talk a little bit about what that's like internally trying to identify yourselves.
I'm not familiar with that. Wait, can you repeat that question?
Like how you're trying internally to identify some of the counter protesters who are being violent or attacking. I've seen a lot of the efforts.
Yeah, I think
I mean, that really is not our priority when we're looking out for the safety of our peers. That is way more urgent right now. We've had less than 24 hours to recover from last night, so I don't really think that we're in the place right now to take the time to try and recognize these people.
So moving forward, are you taking additional steps in order to assure the safety of the people who are in the encampment? What steps are you taking?
I don't, given that there are Zionists probably watching us right now, given that they stalk and surveil us, I don't think it's safe for us to announce that on public and media, so I think we will refrain. But we are taking measures to ensure safety in our encampment.
Do you all feel safe?
No.
Of course not. And also, like, all of this media coverage, right? Like, there's a lot of eyes on UCLA right now. There's a lot of eyes on Columbia. There's a lot of eyes on the universities right now. In Rafah, Netanyahu has promised that regardless of how ceasefire negotiations go, there will be a ground invasion in Rafah, like, imminently, right? That is why we are here. We are here because Palestine has been occupied for the last 75 years, because there are over 35 martyred. There are tens of thousands more under the rubble. There are 1.5 million people being starved. There are 2 million displaced in Rafah, right? That is why we are here. We are staying until those things are eradicated, until Zionism is eradicated. All of this Zionist aggression. This Zionist aggression is, of course, like deeply, deeply unjust. We see it as a direct extension of the Zionist occupation in Palestine and in Israel, right? These people who have been harassing us and attacking us for weeks, and not just this week, but like for months before this, but they're proudly IOF trained, ex-IOF soldiers, right? The LAPD trains with the IOF. These people are wearing IOF jackets, walking around campus, proudly boasting. They're saying, we are Proud Boys, we are armed, we are proud to be American and armed, we are here, and we're coming back with more people and more guns. This is the shit they say to us, right? And so we see their actions as a direct extension of the occupation in Palestine. The brutality that is used here is learned there. And the brutality, right? And so the resistance that we do here is to uplift the resistance that is happening there. So focus your media attention on Gaza, right? The university protests will stop when occupation is lifted, and so that is our main demand.
And I would like to redirect that question. It doesn't matter whether or not we feel safe. I think everybody here can confidently say we would relive last night every single night until this stops. Every single night.
So, there will be no more questions. Thank you very much. If you have additional questions, you can refer to a media liaison throughout the day. Thank you very much. This will be the end of the press conference. Thank you so much.